the relationships that I was able to create. You walk in thinking that it's just going to be like a teacher-student relationship, but you really start to care about them as people. You really start to become invested in their everyday lives and wanting to get to know them and more about them. So just all those relationships you create, that was shocking.
How much flexibility I kind of had, that I was able to come up with ideas and what I got to do, and kind of how the kids interacted with me. I thought they would be like, oh, there's a student teacher, they didn't want to interact with me, so. But no, they were so excited I was there, and that was kind of the most thing that surprised me.
What surprised me the most was how confident I was the last 3 weeks of student teaching. By that time, I felt like I had enough experience being in that particular school, in those particular classes, to come in and just do my best every single day. At the beginning, you know, I would be really unsure of myself, really questioning myself all the time because I just didn't know what I was getting myself into. But towards the end, I really was able to get a grasp on my classes and the work that I was doing there, so I just became really confident. That's something that surprised me. I thought I would struggle through the whole thing, but it actually did get easier at the end. So
the amount of work that is required to prepare, and also throughout your day, there will be times throughout your day where you might have a prep period, or there'll be some downtime throughout your day. Like, you're not going to be completely on the 6 or 7 hours that you'll be in the school. So I suggest, you know, you try and maybe find another classroom during that time period to check out. There are so many things that are happening inside of the school. Don't just limit yourself to being in the classroom that you're assigned to. I think that's really important to, you know, make the most of your day while you're there. You're there. It doesn't feel like a short amount of time while you're going through it, but it's really a short amount of time, so try and take advantage of every opportunity available to you.
Just to be confident at all times. No matter if you go in that day and you're like, I have no idea what's happening, I don't even know if the students are going to like this lesson or something like that, just be confident. If you're confident and the students can feel that coming from you, they will respect you and respond to you so much better. It'll be just an overall better experience for you and the students if you just go in and do your best every single day, no matter what the circumstances are for that day.
To make sure that you set aside enough time before school or after school to be able to think about what happened throughout the day, to make sure that you have enough time set aside to prepare for your next exams, for your next lessons, and to reflect you know, about how you felt things went. To also make sure that you're constantly in communication with your cooperative teacher. He or she will be very instrumental in helping you learn and grow as you go through your student teaching process.
Definitely put your heart and soul into your teaching. It's the best way to do it. If you're not confident with what you're doing, the kids will know, and it makes life so much more difficult. Just do your best, put your heart and soul into it, and just give it your all.
It was tough, but it was so rewarding at the end to know that you did it and you got through it all, and it was just fantastic to know that I worked so hard to this and now I'm done and I get to go and do what I've been dreaming to do.
At first it's very overwhelming because the culture, depending on the school that you're in, is something that you have to get acclimated to. So don't let that overwhelming feeling bring you down.
Overall, student teaching was a great learning experience. I'm a person that loves to learn, loves to gain as much information from things as I can. So this experience, I could honestly say I've gained the most knowledge and understanding of teaching because it's so hands-on and you're coming in every single day and working on your craft. So yeah, overall I would just say it was a great learning experience for me and something that I will remember for the rest of my career for sure.
I know that the time commitment they say it is, they tell you it's a big time commitment, times that by 100. You have to be invested and you have to be willing to, you know, make this your life for the 15 weeks that it is. Without that time commitment, you know, you won't survive. So take that time that you have and really, really dedicate it to your student teaching.
I wish I knew how hard lesson plans actually work. I know I wrote lesson plans for classes and stuff, but writing them every week, it got really like time consuming. You're like, oh, and there was so much stuff you wanted to put in there to make sure that you had, and so it was like making sure you had every little part in there was really hard.
Oh, they prepared me wonderfully. My education classes covered everything that I had to do for student teaching, especially the methods classes where I was able to take certain lesson plans and kind of tweak them to fit what I need, but knowing how to develop those lessons and using relevant, useful sort of strategies and things like that. I got all of that from Point Park, and you know, they prepared me, maybe over-prepared me for the experience.
So the education classes were very beneficial. Talking about management in the classroom, all different styles, you know, long experiences of, you know, setting up a classroom for the very first time. All of that is really important to know the theory behind, because without that you might not know what to try. Don't try too many different things though. Find something that you like and go with it. You only have 15 weeks. You don't want to experiment too much. That will cause chaos. You want to keep a good routine. All of these are things that you have learned in your educational experience. Go back and pick up a book, and if you forget, you know, about a certain subject or a certain management technique, go back and look at your books. It might be applied a little bit differently in your classroom, but that's okay. The theory really is the important thing, and it gives you a good firm foundation for what you're about to experience.
All the things that you learn in the classes that you take here at Point Park, you use in the classroom. There's not a single thing that I was told or that I learned that I did not use at some point.
Oh, without a doubt, it was the students. The students are phenomenal. You know, when it comes to learning and having diversity in the classroom, there is no greater experience than being in the classroom and seeing students individually learning, struggling, some, you know, even tapping out at times. But you have to pull on all those strengths. You have to make sure that you try and do your best to reach the students wherever they are, wherever they're coming from. That is by far and away will be your greatest experiences.
It was just great to know that they wanted me there and they wanted to learn at the same time.
That connection that I made with the students. If I didn't go in knowing that I could talk to them and knowing that I would interact with them, it would have been a lot harder for me to get through the day and get through the 15 weeks that I had of student teaching. So that was definitely the most enjoyable. I mean, and using those connections to teach is what what your ultimate goal is. So I was able to sort of start to build that foundation of using student-teacher relationships to really be an effective student teacher.
Building those relationships with the students, you know, they're people and they really look up to you. Sometimes you don't see that and you might not see it till the very end, but they definitely look up to you, and those relationships that you build with them are just phenomenal.